My ex cheated on me on my 21st birthday. Several years ago, when I was still living in rural Washington state, I was working as a front-end manager at a sports bar. As the drinking age in the USA is 21, I was eagerly looking forward to my 21st birthday when I would be able to start bartending. Despite my busy schedule, which included working full-time while attending school, I decided to take a break to celebrate my milestone birthday. I had been in a long-distance relationship with a girl for about 3 months when I proposed the idea of visiting her in Seattle for my birthday. She agreed, and I was thrilled at the prospect of trying out some of the local bars and clubs in the city. I had never been to Seattle before, and I was excited about the opportunity to explore the city and celebrate my birthday in style. Prior to the trip, my girlfriend had visited me in rural Washington, and everything seemed to be going well between us. She had met my family, friends, and colleagues at the bar where I worked, and everyone had seemed to get along just fine. However, I was a bit apprehensive about the upcoming trip, as it would be the first time I would be spending an extended amount of time with my girlfriend. Despite my concerns, I took some time off work to make the trip to Seattle. The journey took over 5 hours, but I was excited about the prospect of spending time with my girlfriend and exploring the city. A few days before my planned departure, I checked in with my friend to make sure the trip was still on track, and she confirmed that everything was a go. The day before my 21st birthday, I made the journey to visit her. As a small-town person, I had never used Grubhub before, but she introduced me to it and paid for our meals. Although I felt a little uncomfortable about her paying for everything on my birthday, I didn't say anything. I had actually wanted to go out to eat, but she said she was tired, so we stayed in and had a bottle of wine before calling it a night. It wasn't exactly what I had envisioned for the night before my 21st, but I let it go. The next day, she suggested getting pizza, but I have celiac disease and didn't want to risk feeling unwell on my birthday. I suggested some gluten-free pizza places, but she insisted we go to her favorite pizza place that didn't offer gluten-free option. I reluctantly agreed. We spent most of the day lounging around at her place, even though I had already mentioned that I wanted to go bar hopping. However, she didn't seem interested and brushed off my request. Later on that very day, they mentioned that one of their friends had broken up with their girlfriend and that they should go be there for them. They didn't ask me to come along. So I responded with a generic answer like, if that's what you think you should be doing right now on my special day. At this point, I could feel my frustration growing, but I thought it would be better to let them go and spend time with their friend than have them spend the day with me if they didn't want to. I had assumed that they would only be gone for a few hours. However, this person ended up spending the entire night with their friend, going to various clubs and tagging their location with them. Despite me trying to contact them several times, they didn't text me, and at some point in the night, I ended up being angry and feeling very sad at their place, alone with their roommates whom I had never met before. Fortunately, they were very kind. They informed me that they didn't realize I was her boyfriend and that she had other guys over in the past couple of weeks. I ended up getting completely drunk with them, opening a bottle of 151 I had been saving, taking out all the fancy ice cubes from her trays in the freezer. She had Mario and various other special trays, and purposely not refilling anything. She never returned that night, and I ended up crying myself to sleep alone. The next morning, I woke up late, around 11, and she still wasn't home. I was so upset that I had wasted my birthday with this jerk who obviously didn't care about me at all, especially when I had plenty of friends at home who would have loved to go out with me. At this point, I'm sitting in the apartment alone, thinking about what I can get away with without getting in any legal trouble. My ex was someone who loved to collect expensive themed socks running up $20 a pair, gaming consoles, figurines, and she always bragged that there wasn't a hot sauce spicy enough for her. So she had the hottest one on the market in her fridge. Naturally, I wasn't about to throw her gaming consoles out of the window because that would definitely get me into trouble. So I had to get creative. I couldn't just let the woman who ruined my 21st birthday get away with it. So I had to give her something to remember me by. I took all of her expensive Happy socks and cut just the toes out of them. So every time she put a pair on, she would be disappointed to find her toes coming out. I left Legos in the toes of all her shoes on the ground. I put hot sauce in her body wash and toothpaste. I rearranged all her figurines. I cut nipple holes in her favorite shirt that she had just been bragging about. I left a hole in her new panties big enough for her to fall through. Then I gathered what was mine. It was about 1:30 p.m. and I hadn't heard from her, and I left. It's important to note that she didn't share a bathroom with her roommates, so I made sure that what I did didn't have any unintended victims. Later, she texted me when she got home complaining that I had ruined $600 worth of socks and underwear, and don't think I didn't notice the other weird stuff you did. She didn't offer an apology whatsoever for leaving me behind on my birthday, and she never did. Note: this post was reposted from Pro Revenge because it didn't belong there. I didn't harm any children, so I don't think I technically broke any rules here. I'm still new to Reddit, so I may have made a mistake. Redditors' reactions. Story 2, after Redditor 1. Damn, you messed up her week. Congrats on getting rid of your emotional parasite. Wishing you the best. Redditor 2. What a loser. That friend was probably her other bug. Op answer. Yeah, I thought the whole thing was super weird. She told me he was gay, but I don't know many gillies that break up with their long-term BF then say to themselves, you know what I need? I want a clubbing all night with my straight female friend. That's the only thing that will make this better. But I don't know. Saying that is probably super loaded. Can only think about it from my point of view as a bi male. Redditor 3. Nothing more annoying than finding a hole in the sock you just put on. Fuck! That girl! I hope you were able to celebrate somewhat when you got back. Op answer. Yeah, I thought about how I could push the limit to the max without getting in real trouble. I get that this is going to be judged petty, but since I can't post it in the petty revenge, it's here. Story 2. Revenge on cheating girlfriend. During my senior year in high school, my former girlfriend cheated on me with my arch rival, at least according to high school standards. I became enraged when I discovered the truth and wanted to make her feel the same pain she caused me. The following week, I spent time with some mutual friends of ours, including a friend who was logged into Instant Messenger. I don't want to reveal my age, but it's important to the story. I was sitting in front of the computer, high as a kite, when my ex began chatting with who she believed was our friend. I came up with an idea to make her confess that she had slept with my enemy. She revealed everything, including negative comments about his estimal skills and unpleasant odor. In a fit of anger and hurt, my teenage self decided to take revenge on my cheating ex-girlfriend by exposing her infidelity to the whole school. In my immature state, I came up with the idea of printing out 100 copies of the sordid details of her affair with my arch-nemesis and posting them all over the school. With a sense of satisfaction, I glued the copies to walls, bulletin boards, and any other surface I could find. I thought that by doing so, I could publicly shame my ex-girlfriend and make her feel as bad as she made me feel. In my mind, this was the perfect way to get back at her and make her suffer for what she did. The next day, I distributed copies of the printed conversation to as many people as I could and encouraged them to pass them on so that everyone could read it. The entire school seemed to have read it and found it amusing. The girl involved in the conversation felt humiliated that everyone knew she had slept with the guy. The guy, on the other hand, was embarrassed because everyone assumed he had a bad smell. I was thrilled with my actions, at least until I was called to the principal's office during lunchtime. Apparently, a teacher saw me handing out the papers and reported me. Another guy who had been taunting the guy in question by shouting, I smell it dirty, as loudly as possible in the lunchroom was also called to the office as they suspected his involvement. I owned up to my actions to ensure that the other guy didn't get into trouble for something he didn't do. I received a 3-day suspension, which wasn't as bad as it could have been. However, I felt that the humiliation on the girl's face made it all worthwhile. Story 3. Karma's a bitch. Hello, this is my first post. The cast-op of me and my soon-to-be ex-wife is referred to as Waswife. The reason our marriage is ending is because of someone who caused problems in our relationship, whom I refer to as a home-wrecking jerk. During an argument with Waswife about when she would bring our kids back from their visitation with her, I asked for a couple more hours for myself. However, despite already spending little time with the kids, she became upset and gave my phone number to the home-wrecking jerk, who proceeded to call me. I was shocked and insulted by his audacity, and referred to him as a home-wrecking jerk before hanging up. He then called back, but I did not answer, and he left a voicemail. I was pleased that he had given me evidence of his action. The following is a transcript. I want to handle this situation in a mature way, and I don't mind if you record our conversation. However, I need to remind you that it is my home, and I am the one who decides what happens inside it. So, I am politely requesting that you comply with my wish. Visitation states, the she is to bring them back Sunday by 6. You have to give 24 hours notice. I do know that because I have a visitation as well. You have to give 24 hours notice. If you don't give 24 hours notice, she can by right By law, bring those children back. I'm not going to allow your children to stay in my house after 6 Palm. I have other plans and I don't have the resources to accommodate them. It's my house, and you can't tell me what to do. No matter how much you insult or berate me, I won't change my mind. If you want to call me names like home, wrecking hoe, go ahead. If you knew how to treat your wife properly, she wouldn't be staying with me, darling. Maybe if you were more responsible and acted like an adult, we could resolve this issue. But since you're not willing to be reasonable, you'll only get what you deserve. Karma is a jerk. This is the app saying it to the husband. If you continue to cause trouble for me, just know that I have the power to have the visitation agreement changed so that your wife can't have overnight visits with the kids. It's my house. I have the deed to it, not your wife. Don't try to mess with me. Also, I know a lot of people who could help me take legal action against you if I need to, and I have information that could possibly get you into trouble with the law. Initially, I didn't plan on responding, but after giving it some thought, I decided to clear up a few things. It's amusing how he blindly believes everything that Wazban says, even though we both know that he is a dishonest person who cheated with me. So I ended up calling him back, but to my surprise, he called me from his work phone. As I was navigating through the automated menu, I came up with a clever idea. I waited for the appropriate option and asked to speak to a manager. Yes, I know. I informed the manager that one of their employees called me from the store phone during work hours, threatening and harassing me. I provided all the necessary details and ended the call. To ensure that it wouldn't be overlooked, I went to the corporate website and filed a complaint. Revenge, Part 2. He doesn't work there anymore. I also presented the recording in court as evidence, which helped to eliminate the overnight visitation as he promised. I also revealed that the person in question had been mistreating one of my daughters with Down syndrome who couldn't speak up for herself. The judge was particularly interested in the part about no amount of law. Wife X was caught off guard because she didn't know I had this evidence, and she heard it for the first time in court. Now, there will be no more overnights, and she won't be able to harm my children. Indeed, karma is a bish, and so are you. Redditor's reactions. Redditor 1. I'm sorry you have to deal with that, but I'm glad that dumb jerk got fired and the overnights were taken away. Hopefully, they're also no longer allowed to be around the kids at all. Op answer. Thank you. In fact, they're not around them because my ex refuses to keep them an extra 2 hours for visitation. The last time they picked them up was the last weekend of July 2019, so a year now. They've seen them at my house 4 times during the last year for 10, 20 minutes each time. They chose their partner and their kids over their own flesh and blood. Redditor 2. I wonder how long it will be until your ex turns around and cheats on the other person in your story. That's their pattern of behavior, right? This other person has seen them cheat on you. I wonder if they will be surprised when they cheat on them too. Op answer. They already did long ago, and still the other person stays. They deserve each other. Redditor 3. If you knew how to take care of your professional image, buddy, you'd still have a job, okay? Maybe if you didn't act such a jerk about certain things and be mature and handle your business, maybe we could work this out. But since you don't want to be mature about things, and you want to be evil, evil only gets you certain things. Redditor 4. Your amazing internet sibling, but please tell me X didn't know about abusing the baby. Op answer. Thank you. I'm sorry to say, yes, they knew. They tried to justify it in court by telling the judge that the child was playing with them. Fortunately, the judge saw through their lies. He pointedly asked if my child thought they were playing, and they had to admit that no, they didn't. Between that and the voicemail, their overnights got snatched.